What's up guys, Barry Game here, back with some more AFK Journey, and today you might have already checked out our Plague Creeper video. If you didn't, make sure you go check that out. There's some teams that you wouldn't think would be the best teams for the Plague Creeper. They actually are, and really the highlight today overall is Korin and his mighty comeback into the meta, because he has quickly become one of the strongest heroes. And funny enough, the faction talent system for light bearers is absolutely amazing. It says when the prime carrier casts an ultimate, they summon a shadow that casts the ultimate again. You know who sounds really good with that? Rowan. The shadow inherits 70% of their attack, but 100% of their other stats, along with an extra 16 penetration. Increases the ultimate damage of the carrier and their shadow by 20%, so that is really big. Recovers 100 energy when they kill someone. That's not as big of a deal. And of course, tons of extra stats. Now, we have got it all the way up to here so that we have 2 of those tiles, and I want to show you guys. I didn't get to do this myself, sadly, but those in my guild in battle drills absolutely demolished it with their damage. You can see in contribution, I'm going to show you my best one. Really solid. This is like kind of more the old school traditional Lenya team with Vala added into it. Going with the more traditional, squad here. We're using the resonating spell. I haven't been paying enough attention to do my best hits possible. This does feel like probably one of my weaker battle drills I've done, just because I've been really distracted in real life. And after that, you can see some of my other teams really bad. Taylene doesn't perform well, anything like that. But you know what does perform well and absolutely crazy? Korin, yes, especially when they're Paragon 4 and crazy strong. So this is essentially the squad. If you guys saw the Plague Creeper video earlier today, I tried Cassidy in it over Merrily. It looks like Cassidy is the go-to here, but yeah, this team is pretty bonkers. Now, placement here is pretty good. We're, of course, still using Alsa because, again, surprisingly enough, people are using Resonating Spell in this one. I would have thought they would have used the other artifact, but I guess not, so it's not as big of a deal on the number of ultimates we have. But this is the team that is absolutely destroying this boss right here. And it's mainly because you get so many ultimates off. It is absolutely crazy. Korin going absolutely nuts. Honestly, 3 times is way too hard to see what's going on here. But Rowan, on top of the already feeding energy and everything, is just amazing. The amount of ultimates you get off of this team. And again, I really feel like maybe if they use the other artifact, they'd do better. I'll try to do one of these attempts myself tomorrow with this team setup and everything. Because again, it's really interesting. Taking a look at the placement here. Oh no, actually I can't do it yet because I don't even have the right heroes in. I need to substitute new people in. So making sure you have the right people in your command center is going to be absolutely huge for this one. So again, please make sure you guys are switching some heroes out. You need to make sure you have the right heroes in order to do anything in this one. So you're going to want to make sure you put Rowan in here, and you're going to want to make sure you substitute Cassidy in too. So let's get her in this squad so that tomorrow we can at least do one hit with that type of team. But again, showing you guys the layout here, I want to show you guys this is the same thing. I think their placement is identical here. So you can see right there, putting the Cassidy in front of the Korin is kind of important to give him her buff, which is going to be really important here. And honestly, even our AoE is pretty solid because of what Korin, Cassidy, and even Alsa can do. Alsa doesn't really have a ton of AoE. I actually don't even know if those little summons can be hit either. But I think this was actually on the previous bar. Surprisingly enough, I would have thought like one of the potential heroes to use in this team right here would be a Vala, because sub 50% HP. I feel like Vala would probably be absolutely crazy for something like this. God, this game looks so nuts when you actually speed it up to 3 times speed. It's almost like you can't even tell what's going on, really. Like, things are going so quickly. But then you go back to 1 time speed and it feels like it's in slow motion. Also just get so many ultimates off. But again, it's not even like... I feel like if this was using the other artifact, it might even do more damage. And that might be what we have to personally test tomorrow. We might have to. You can see right here, we're down to like 8% left on the boss. Went down into the 7% range here. And yeah, doing over 100 billion damage. That's just pretty insane. And so the comeback of Korin is surprising. We literally just talked about last week. We're like, man, it feels a little disappointing. Korin has fallen behind in the meta. Again, him having this right here, at least the elite version, getting the additional damage against the boss and everything for 15% additional damage is huge. Again, it really makes me wonder if we should be using someone else, because yeah, Cassidy gets more energy and stuff, but I feel like Vala would be a perfect candidate for this team right here. But you notice most of these top attempts here, cut and paste, same exact team. The sad part about battle drills here is, yes, you have 3 attacks every single day, but I think the boss requires what? 24 energy. You only generate enough for like 1 attack every single day, but I do think potentially if you have a high tide call spell, this one might actually be better, because you essentially have a 100% uptime of additional 25% damage, and that might break things even further. So we'll definitely have to test that tomorrow on our own account. And it's the perfect timing too. She just he Dethanol, whatever, just dropping below 50%. So tomorrow's gonna be prime time to maybe see if Vala is a candidate. Now, the only other thing I was considering, and I'm sure people have already tried it too, but I'm kind of wondering if running Alsa is 100% necessary. She does get a lot of ultimates off, which is really, really good, but I was wondering if there was ever a world where you could actually send in Kruger in that team instead for the reduction of physical defense, because you have to remember, with Korin's kit here, he's basically what? He's doing additional true damage, but he still does his native physical damage as regular physical damage. So wondering if Kruger could somehow really ramp this up. You gotta have 3 light bearers. Again, the whole way that this thing works here, oops, right here, is by having at least 17 points to get the extra tile here. That's usually how this strategy works, and it seems like it's going to be the go-to strategy. I don't know how this is going to work out. We're going to have to see. I think I'm going to try to spread my points around in these other factions in the cheaper nodes to see how far we can make it level-wise, because honestly, I feel like doing something like this and not going for the expensive ones might be best, but I think you still have to get up to 80 points, because that only gets us to 60. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to invest in some of these more expensive nodes. Gonna try to do as few as possible, honestly, but that's definitely gonna have to happen, because I really want to unlock this next stage too, allowing them to get even more of their attack. And the big one is when the prime carry is defeated, a shadow remains and inherits it. So that's kind of a cool strategy. Granted, PvE, it's not gonna be that big of an issue, but Korin has made a heck of a comeback now, and it's absolutely crazy.